Like it or not, relationships include conflict. You and your lover are going to get into a fight. And if that never happens, I'm impressed. But the one thing I know about relationships is they trigger us. And because we get triggered, we start defending. And because we start defending, we can get into a fight. The challenge with this is that usually we are triggered by what's happening in the present because of something that's happened in the past. But we never recognize that that's happening. So what we think we're upset about is actually not what we are upset about. Put another way, what we think is happening is not actually happening. Something happens in front of us, life comes at us, and we layer on a story or a belief on top of that. And that story and belief on top of the situation creates a distorted view of what's actually happening. But it seems really real to us. Like it seems like the truth. It seems like that person should not be doing what that person is doing or saying what that person is saying. But I will tell you this, what you think is happening is not actually happening. Why you think you're upset is not really why you're upset. So instead of going further and further into an argument or a conflict or a disagreement, I am going to give you 4 words that takes any charge out of any conflicts that you are dealing with. And those 4 words are, say more about that. Say more about that is really great. When someone comes at you with an opinion or a stance or something, their point of view, and especially when they're charged because they really want to be right about something. And on the other side, make you wrong about something. Or maybe it's switched. You want to be right about something and make them wrong about something. But if they're coming at you, a good way to start taking the charge out of a conflict or a situation is just ask them, say more about that. See what's really going on underneath before you start making assumptions, before you start taking action on something that probably isn't happening. They are just triggered from something in the past that you have reminded them of, or someone else has reminded them. Maybe the conflict is not with you, but it's with somebody else. You can also support your lover by asking the question whenever they're upset. This allows our logical brain to get back on track. When we are triggered, our amygdala takes us out of the game. We go into our lizard brain, which is a protective brain, one that has us attack, one that has us feel like we need to be safe, protect. But if you start getting curious about what's going on with the other person has a chance to get that logical brain back online and to start digging in a little deeper about what's happening with them. And then some real truths are revealed as opposed to the made up truths that we think is happening. And when you start understanding what's really going on and the real truth, then there is a grace about moving through it instead of a wonky mess. So just try this for yourself. The next time you get into a conflict with someone and someone's coming at you about an opinion or a point of view, instead of defending, you have to really be aware because a lot of times they're triggered, then they get triggered, and then we get triggered. So you have to be really aware. And if you start getting triggered, you'd be like, oh, that's interesting. I'm feeling anger coming up in my body, or I'm feeling sadness, or I want to attack. I want to defend. Okay, this is interesting. Instead of doing that, what if I just asked this person, say more about that? What if I invited them to dig deeper into what was really happening and the upset that they were feeling, instead of resisting what they were saying? Because as they say, what you resist persists. And you can totally see it when you start using this. Because you're like, in the past, I would have just defended and started the argument. And we've just been arguing back and forth like ping pongs, going really quickly back and forth. But what happens is when they launch their ping pong and you say more about that, that means that you put your paddle down and the ping pong ball just disappears. And now there's something else that's available to happen. Something that's a little bit more rich and, like I said, closer to the truth. So the first step is to become aware if you're being triggered. And the second step is to become curious. And how you become curious is just say this line, say more about that. And you can keep on saying that line again and again and again until you really get what's going on for that other person and really understand. And of course, you know, when we get triggered, our quality of listening kind of changes. So you want to really dial in that quality of listening. Really let go of any assumptions, any stories, or any beliefs that you have about that person or the situation, and have that clean, crisp listening. And again, curiosity gives you access to that. Like, really get interested. Like, wow, you're upset. I get that. Say more about that. What else is going on for you? And then you'll realize that they come up with this golden nugget that when they start feeling these nuggets that they've been hiding, they have a chance to heal. You have to feel to heal, as they say. And you giving them access to that by being curious and not defending gives them the ability to heal that. And then what you're doing is you're really creating this smoother path for the future for both of you guys to live into. Instead of the path being riddled by, you know, rocks and potholes and maybe even little hidden bombs, all of a sudden that's becoming more clear. And as you go down the path together, life becomes more gracious, more smooth, more of a way of creation as opposed to a, you know, concern about stepping on landmines. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you guys. Know that conflict is a part of relationship. Don't make yourself wrong for being in conflict or having an upset or getting into a fight. It happens. It's not that we fight, it's how we fight that creates the quality of our relationship. So if you find yourself, someone's coming at you because they're getting triggered, just remember to watch yourself, be aware for your own triggers, get curious by say more about that, and watch your listening. Just really tune into that high quality of listening. All right, I hope that was helpful for you guys. This is helping you become the magician in your own love life, because once you start doing this, you can do this with anybody at any time. If you are interested in knowing some magic about how to create magical relationships, PM me. I am taking one-on-one clients where I take you through a torrid love affair personal experience. By the end of the time that we work together, you will know the tips and tricks and the magic to become the magician in your love life. All right, sweethearts, reach out. I would love to support you.